Does it say that in the bill? Does it say that in the bill? I'm asking you to tell me what's in the bill because you are pushing false narratives. It doesn't matter what critics say.
Hold on. It says it bans classroom instruction on sexual identity and gender orientation.
For who? For grades pre-K through 3. So 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds. And the idea that you wouldn't be honest about that and tell people what it actually says, it's why people don't trust people like you, because you peddle false narratives. And so we disabuse you of those narratives. And we're going to make sure that parents are able to send their kid to kindergarten without having some of this stuff injected into their school curriculum.
Hi guys, welcome back to Girls Gone Viral podcast. I'm Bree.
And I'm Amiana.
And here is your weekly dose of all things pop culture, current events, and real talk.
That's right. Okay, today we're going to talk about religion and sexuality. So first we're going to talk about what went viral over the last few weeks, which was the Don't Say Gay bill. And so, Brianna, let's talk about it.
So I have some information on it. This is on NBCnews.com. The Florida Senate passed a bill that would prohibit classroom discussion about the sexual orientation or gender identity in the state's primary schools. So basically, our governor, Ron DeSantis, signed a bill that would prohibit all discussion about gender identity, sexual orientation, in all grades from primary school. So I guess what is that, K through 5?
Yeah, what is primary?
Primary school is elementary school, you know? So for young kids, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you feel about that?
I think that's reasonable.
Why was it so controversial? That is my question, because I don't feel like, I mean, everything that's controversy has, you know, opposing sides. But I'm just wondering, like, what the issue is with, it's not saying that, you know, we're going to discuss any side negatively, just like the discussion is not going to happen. So I feel like that's very reasonable. And I don't ever remember talking about any kind of gender identity in school. So why is the controversy? Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think definitely we're in a different, you know, day and age now where it's like, you know, there's more rights for the LGBTQ community. And, you know, I guess people are so a little bit sensitive about whether or not they're being left out, you know, or excluded.
Okay.
And so what I think it is that they feel that if you don't talk about it, then you're excluding those children who may be experiencing, you know, questions
Gender
about their
identity,
and questions about their sexuality, and that it puts them in a predicament in class where the other kids don't understand them either. So,
but if the conversation has just not happened at all, so it's like you're not really excluding them, because in that case, then the kids who are not experiencing gender identity issues could say that they feel excluded as well. Like, you're not calling me a girl and I'm a girl. Like, you're just not having the conversation at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess there is controversy, and I'm sure that maybe someone on the the opposing side could, like, maybe further dig deeper into what the issue is. But as for me, I just don't really see what the issue is. You know, and especially for those young kids, I think that just the not talking about it at all is reasonable.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a little bit too early to talk about it, you know, to that age group. You know, you might see it a little bit more prevalent in middle school, high school, you know what I mean? But that age group, at that point, they're just like, I just love you. You know, like, they love everybody.
And you know what? It's not that the conversations don't need to be had. Like, if there are any issues, I definitely think there is no age group that can, you know, you cannot, like, characterize that, you know, at this age group they're not ready to talk about, like, you know. But I feel like at that age group, if the conversation needs to be had, that's a conversation that you need to have personally with your child. That shouldn't be had in the classroom.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I remember when I was growing up, like my dad never actually had the sex talk with me. I don't know if he felt just uncomfortable talking about
Did your
sex.
mom have it with you?
No.
So you never had that talk. You never
I
had
never
the
had the official talk,
Uh-huh.
right? But I remember my dad's way of teaching me about sexuality was he would just like buy me books, right? So one time he bought me this little anatomy, I don't know what it was, but it was like a diagram of the body, like the uterus and, you know, ovaries and, you know, penis and all those type of things. So he never actually says like what you do with these things,
Right.
but he just educated me and
Right.
he said, oh, this is what this is.
Right.
You know, so by the time I got to a certain age and people started saying, oh, sex this and ooh, a penis and ooh, this, a vagina. I was just like, oh, okay.
I remember I never knew what sex was. I remember in 5th grade. How old are you in 5th grade? Like 10? I don't know. I remember in 5th grade, we were in the cafeteria, and one of the boys in the cafeteria was talking about sex, and I specifically remember, like I remember this so well, thinking that like sex was two people just like dry humping. Like, I remember in my head like, duh, I know what sex is. Like, yeah, just get on top of each other and move around. Like, and I was a big girl. I was, I don't know, 9, 10. So yeah, like I feel like that is an appropriate thought process for a 9-year-old for what sex should be. Like, I mean, I think at 9 years old you should have no business knowing what sex is at all. But like, okay, you know, of course there's exposure to media, you hear little things here and there. But for me, like a 9-year-old thinking that sex is dry humping,
Yeah.
I feel like that's
pretty
reasonable. Yeah, like I don't think you need to know the
sexuality, right?
Okay,
so it's
okay,
like
there's
now,
a difference there. Yeah, there's
a
definitely a difference there.
Yeah, it's definitely a difference because now it's like, okay, you have children now, today, at this age, in elementary, even younger than elementary, saying, you know, a little boy saying, I feel like I'm a girl. You know.
Okay, but why now more than before? Like, I feel like,
Yeah.
I don't think that that's something that comes with the times. Like, if there are little boys or that think that they're a girl, or little girls that feel like they're a boy in the 2nd and 3rd grade now, I feel like there should have been the same amount of those kids at that time, like at any time in history. So I guess maybe now that we're more open and receptive to it, that they're maybe more comfortable expressing their feelings.
Yeah, it brings me to the thought though, like, I didn't really think about it this way, but now it's kind of coming to me of what the opposing side might be thinking. Because, for instance, let's just say you have a little boy and that little boy thinks that, you know, or identifies as a girl, right? Now you sending that child to school, right? So the children at the school has to also identify that child as a little girl. So that can be confusing
for the other side, for everybody.
So that can be confusing because it's like, no, Tommy is a boy. No, Tommy identifies.
And kids
as
have
a
no
girl.
filter. Like, I'll tell you, yesterday I was at Target with Eli, and there was this man who works at Target, and he was definitely a very big man. And we're there, we're just minding our business, and Eli is like, Mommy, look at that big fat man. He has a really big belly. Like, I mean, the man was right there. Like, this, I mean, maybe not this close, but like, he was right here. He can absolutely hear. Look at that big fat man. He has a really big belly, right? Is that because he eats too many candy and sweets?
Oh,
Oh my God. So, like, you know, with that being said, like, a kid will have no problem be like, Mommy, is that a boy or girl? Like, Eli has asked me that before. Is that a boy or a girl? You know? And he doesn't mean any harm by it. He's just he's curious. So imagine in schools where you don't have the parent there or an adult there, like, to tell you, you don't, you know, like, answer the question and you know, to the best of your ability for them to understand,
right?
And for them to be just aware and understanding and just accepting, you know? So, of all people.
Right.
So, imagine in the school. I don't know why it had to have gone as far as being a bill, you know, like a legislation. But I do believe and agree with the concept. Just don't, let's not talk about it, you know?
Yeah.
When they get a little bit older, when they get a little bit more understanding, when they get a little bit more informed, then that conversation could be had inside or outside the schools. But at the young age, it just needs to happen at home.
Or could they have just said, you know, okay, we have a transgender child in the class, or a child that identifies as another, you know, sexual orientation, or whatever the case may be, right? Is it possible that they could have just like sent a note home to the parents and say, hey, would you mind talking to them about this?
No, because now you got to do the most. You know, I think that with those kids, like, it's saying that don't say anything. So, like, we're not going to separate the little kids into boys and girls. We're not going to say, okay, we're going to have a spelling bee. Let's see who's faster, boys or girls. We're not going to do any of that, you know? Whether you identify with the orientation that you were born as or not, we're just not having that conversation at all. We're all students. We're not boys and girls.
But is that a form of discrimination? Because if you start doing that, like, now my child identifies as a girl, even though he was born a boy, but he feels he is a girl. So you're saying that you're not going to, you know, talk to my child and refer to my child as a girl?
We're not going to refer to him or her as a boy or girl.
What do we call
children?
Okay.
Hi, kids. Come on.
Okay.
Not boys and girls. Not
so you're not gonna,
little men, ladies, little ladies.
Boys
No,
and girls from the class.
We're not gonna say, you know, we're sitting. I remember growing up, we used to be like, okay, sit boy, girl, boy, girl. We're not doing that. We're, you know,
these are different times.
Different. Do you remember sitting boy, girl, boy, girl?
Yep. But these are different. That's. Man, that's like different times where it's just like you can't even say that.
Yeah, no, we're not doing none of that. And I mean, I think it's extreme, but if that's where we are in society, then that's what it has to be.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. That's fair.
Yeah. So the real kind of bread and butter, of the conversation today is going to be about religion and sexuality as a whole. So,
question though, do you think that religion was the base to this bill? You know, was the I don't know,
like, was it kind of founded in religion?
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like,
do you think it had something to do with that, the foundation of it?
I mean, there should be a separation between church and state. So religion can't really be the foundation of anything that have to do with schools, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they wouldn't say that, you know what I mean? They're not going to verbally say, these are my religious beliefs and this is why I think
Truly,
that.
I don't believe it, like, and this is not my beliefs, but overall what I think that it is, I don't believe that it was founded in religion. I believe that it was founded in homophobia. Not saying that is my belief, but I'm saying that is what I think is the basis of that here. That's just how I feel, you know. But what do you think? It was probably religion?
Could be a combination. I mean, the governor himself is a Republican, and Republicans are more so known to be
religious.
Yeah, extremely, you know, right wing.
And they practice their faith in public, you know, at least like for the country, and when they're addressing the union, they are faith.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of their belief systems, you know, and a lot of the laws that they pass and things like that, it does come from, you know, their foundation and religion, even when it comes down to Roe versus Wade, you know, just abortions and all those type of things. Like, yes, you could say it's just your personal opinion, but you know that probably may have had some, you know, influence from your religious or spiritual beliefs, you know. So just, you know, just something to think about. I'm just wondering.
I just would be interested in seeing how it develops, because it just got passed this month. So I want to see, you know, God forbid, teachers are being penalized if they say, like I said, okay, guys, we're sitting boy, girl. Like, let's say there is not one student in that class, or let's say not one student in that school that, you know, is for concern of being, you know, being spoken to or being addressed or as the wrong, as what they don't identify as. Let's say it's just like a cut and dry classroom with no cause for concern in that department, and a teacher is just doing her thing and making them sit boy girl, like how the teachers did when I was growing up. If she's gonna get fired, or like, you know, that is what I'm interested in seeing how it's going to play out, because you know, like I said, I don't feel like it should have been as far as it becoming legislation, but since it is, I just wonder how far they're gonna take it as far as you know, enforcing the law.
One of the things I thought about was, you know, should religion be more inclusive to the LGBT community? I know that there are some religious sectors that are, you know, are inclusive and are starting to really digest that even their own members are, you know, are not going to be the same sexual orientation. You know, the members of their religion and the religion, or the members of their church, or whatever the case may be, they're just not going to be the same sexual orientation that you may be. Even down to now, you even have like openly gay pastors, and you know, it's a different world now,
right?
You know, so should religious sectors start to be more inclusive, knowing that the world is changing, you know, it's evolving, everything around you is starting to become more inclusive, from schools to hospitals to job, you know, different companies that you work for. So is the religious sector behind the world? Like, are they like just ancient and just like so far behind in progression?
Okay, this is going to be a touchy topic where I feel like I have to really mind my words. Okay. Is religion outdated in that sense? Is religion outdated in this? I think religion is outdated in a lot of ways.
Don't be scared now.
I'm not scared. I have a lot of ideas and I have a lot of thoughts on it, but I am being mindful that I have this little camera right here. And this broadcasting signal. Okay. I believe that religion is outdated in a lot of ways. And this is one of them. However, it depends on how you view religion, and also depends on what your religion is. Like I grew up, you know, Seventh-day Adventist. I grew up Christian, so I could only speak from a perspective of what the Christian religion does. Do I consider myself a religious person right now? No. But do I understand religion? I understand Christianity. I understand Christianity. Religion in its entirety is based on fundamental principles, you know, and sexuality. And not even LGBTQ, just sexuality overall. What is considered sexually appropriate, even whether it be in a marriage? What is considered sexually appropriate in an unmarried person? Like whatever. Like there's just so many avenues about sexuality in religion, and what religion or what Christianity expects of your sexuality, outside of who you are being, you know, sexually active with, or you're exploring your sexuality with, how you do it, who you do it with, when you do it. You know what I mean? Whether it be, you know, like before or after. So there's so many stipulations that I feel like it would have, like, if religion is going to become inclusive for the LGBTQ community, I see it as more of, then religion would have to just be more inclusive of a more free-spirited sexual in totality, in all of sexuality. You know,
so just like all across the board, it just needs to be more open.
I'm not saying it needs to be. I'm saying if you can't have one without the other.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure there is one without the other, but I do feel one is more accepting. You know what I mean? So it's
Which
like
one is more accepting?
the fornicating part, just the part that if I was, let's just say I was, you know, a member of, you know, a Christian church or something like that, and you know, the people at the church knew that I was fornicating, which means like I was having, you know, sexual intercourse or sexual activity outside of the realm of marriage, right? Yes, it would be frowned upon, right?
So, like, let's say you're a new member of the church and you come in as a single mother. They obviously know that you was hunching and you're not married. Because
I
you
don't
have
think
this
that's
baby.
so much an issue. I think it's like it becomes more of an issue once they know, like, I'm still like sexually active. Like, so now, you know, I'm still sexually active. Yes, I attend this church, but I'm still sexually active. I still, you know, I still live a you know, a similar life than the life that I lived when I came here, right? So yes, it would be frowned upon, right? But I think people go a lot harder when it comes down to a homosexual person identifying as, you know, gay or lesbian or, you know, whatever that falls, you know, underneath that umbrella of LGBTQ, right? I just feel like now it's more like, okay, this is a whole nother tree that we gotta
that
start.
a church would accept a whore before a homosexual.
I think so. I think so.
So if you come in like, I am a prostitute, I sleep with strangers for money, all kinds of strangers, I don't know who they are, I met them right now, which I'm not saying is bad, like, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm judging people who do that, but from a religious standpoint, I'm a prostitute, I sleep with strangers, versus I'm a homosexual, I have the same partner, we are monogamous, we are in love, we are set to be married, we're getting married next week.
Oh, don't say married. Woo, that's a whole nother ballgame right there. Married? Oh, you gonna marry this person? Like,
yeah, so it's like, okay, I feel like that is more justified in behavior than the prostitute.
Yeah, it is, because like with the prostitute, right? Now we want to get down to what's the issue? Like, why?
Who hurt you?
Yeah,
why
who
you
hurt you?
yeah.
Why? Like, why? You're so beautiful. Why would you do that to you? You know, it becomes a little bit more compassionate. You know what I mean? This person has really been through something. You know, but if I come in as this lesbian and I'm like, I'm not changing the fact that I'm a lesbian, but I want to be here because I want to be in the presence of God, and I want to, you know, get to know people at church, and I want to be in a church environment or a religious environment, and I want to, you know, just have friends in this, you know, but I'm not going to change my lifestyle. I might even bring my partner, you know. That is, I definitely feel like religion just says that is not acceptable, and you're at some point while you're here, you need to figure out how you're going to change and not be that way. You know what I mean? If there is no, we're just going to accept you and just let you be here for an extended amount of time without us trying to change you permanently.
So for me, because I can't say that I subscribe myself to traditional religion. Not saying that I don't believe in God, not saying that I don't, practice spirituality. Mm-hmm. But because I don't necessarily subscribe to the traditional method of what religion looks like, of course, for me, it's easy to say that, I take that back. Not saying that it's easy to say that. Not to say that religion should be more inclusive. I think religion is what it is. I don't believe that religion should be more inclusive. I don't. Because I feel like religion, the foundation that it's on and the foundation that it's based on should stay like that, because that is the avenue for many people. Mm-hmm. I think that if you subscribe to beliefs outside of the religion, then you don't even really necessarily believe in that religion, and that's okay, because there are so many other avenues that you can explore besides feeling like I have to go to try to like make these people accept me, mm-hmm. or make myself try to fit into this place where I know that I don't necessarily agree with, or mm-hmm. they don't agree with me. And I think that individualism is okay. Like, you can be whatever you want to be. You just don't have to go there. You know what I mean? You can go do something else. You can have other thoughts. You can enjoy God and be in the presence of God and have friends who are also like-minded, God-loving people, and not have to make these people feel like they have to be more inclusive to you. Yeah. Like, you don't have to do that. So,
and I think
that's for everybody. That's for the person from the LGBT community that feels like they need to try to subscribe to religion. That's for the prostitute. That's for the other heathens. Mm-hmm. That's for me, damn it, because so right.
Yeah, I definitely can see what you're saying with that. And I think that's where you end up having those branches, like those people who branch off and create their own sectors of
the Church of Science of Jesus of Science. You ever heard of that? Whatever church that is? It's like
Scientology.
Whatever.
But not even just Scientology, right? But you have people who would consider themselves Christian, but they have a LGBT community church that they attend. Right, so they're like, okay, well, I'm not accepted here, so we're gonna, create our own environment where we feel comfortable, where we, and you might find that the pastor is married to the same sex,
right?
And, so you see that, you're starting to see that now, where people are like, you know what? Why subject myself to this kind of
discomfort?
Yeah, just discomfort and just awkwardness. I could just go over here. You know what I mean?
Or I feel like it's like when they say, "Oh, I need a seat at the table." You can just make your own table and invite your own people to the table, and so.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So there was another topic that we wanted to kind of discuss in this conversation is how to apply grace when your religious beliefs are different than other people's religious beliefs, or your personal beliefs are different than others. Like, how do you kind of just like love and accept other people with different beliefs than you have?
Mm-hmm. The key word is love, because
that wasn't part of the question. The question was, how do you apply grace? So your answer to that is love?
Yeah. So, that's the beginning process of it, right? So the key word is love, right? I don't love you because of your sexuality. That's just not what I love about you. I don't love Rihanna because she's straight.
So why do you love people? Because they're your neighbor?
I love people because of just who they are and how I feel when I'm around them, and how happy I am, and what I can talk to you about, and the experience that I have when I'm with you. That's what creates that.
Oh wait.
What are you doing?
This is what I needed. Forget that. Clap.
Yeah. So it's like I'm trying to experience you. I whatever you're doing, but like in privacy, what does that have to do with me? Like, I I'm not there for that.
Right.
You know, I don't want you with me when I'm in private.
Right.
So, you know.
Child.
Child. And the thing is, right, we all have our dirty little secrets, right? We have our dirty little secrets that we don't want anyone to know about. Not your best friend, not your mama, not nobody, right? Sometimes not even your spouse. You don't even want your partner to know about your dirty little secrets, right? And so I'm not here for that. You know, I'm here to experience you and enjoy you as a person and the love that you bring and the love that I have for it. You know what really shaped that for me? I have a really close friend, and he's gay. And this is a real story. This is a very, very personal story. I'm not gonna put his business out there, but he experienced, you know, abuse. He was younger than me, and so I looked at him like a little brother, you know, and we had a lot of conversations about, is this right? Is this wrong? You know, I saw him go through the process of just trying to figure out, like, well, am I gonna go to hell? You know, and am I this way because this happened to me? You know, and different things that, you know, and you know, we had a lot of those conversations, and over time, it just made me realize, like, I don't even care. Like, you know, I will go to a gay club with him just because it's with him. Like, it has, like, I don't fit into this environment. I don't personally want anyone to approach me and try to get with me, but he's probably the only one that can just get me, like, let's go, go in this environment. And actually, it's a funny story. I did go to this gay club with him, and it was so funny because it was just like everyone was different from me. It was the first time I felt like the minority. You know what I mean? And
so isn't that like a perspective shift? Where, like, imagine that's what people who, you know, are in the LGs. I mean, I could imagine. I can't speak on their behalf, and I don't want to like. Be intrusive, but like I could imagine that's probably how they feel all the time, like in just the regular world. So you felt uncomfortable for an hour, a couple hours, like, you know, that's kind of perspective shift that makes you like, okay, like, that allows you to show some grace. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you can just, you don't have to put your whole foot in, but just put your toe in and just kind of try to relate to that experience. And that's a very good point, because I was literally a minority in that environment. And it was my first time, so I'm just like, wow, like all the little different things that's going on.
Not little different things,
It
child.
was different things going on, child. Like, they were like singing and throwing money at the people that was performing. It was just like, oh, okay, this is what they do. I didn't know, you know. So
that's cute. That's cool.
Yeah, but I remember like a woman approached me, right? So, because she sees me in this environment, so she's like, hey, let me make my move. Let me
shot her shot, child.
And my friend snatched me up. So like, let's go. So
let's just shoot her shot. not him trying to cock block.
This was like, you're so
that
beautiful.
Is so funny.
And my friend was like, like we're
that's
not doing
so
that.
funny.
But yeah, and so, you know, the more you surround yourself around people who are just not like you, it doesn't matter their sexuality, it doesn't matter their race, it doesn't matter their gender. When you surround yourself around people who are just not like you, it just makes, I'm the type of person, that's what makes us who we are. That's what makes me love people. Like, if you look at the spectrum of my friends, totally different. Like, I'm talking about, you will see me posting friends, like, I'll be in a picture today with a white girl, and like, she's really my friend. It's not, you know, like, she's really my friend. I will talk to her, I will call her, and I just want people to just kind of like just be a little bit more open. You know what I mean? Just to be a little bit more open. Yes, there are things that happen in the world that are created to keep us separated. But if you do happen to have a connection with someone, just forget about all that other stuff. Like, don't worry about it, because you're connected to their spirit, you're connected to their soul, you're not connected to anything else. And as long as you have an understanding amongst each other and you can just, you know, be free and to be yourself, then accept that person for who they are and just let them be who they are. And hopefully they will let you be who you are and respect, you know, hey, my friend may not agree with this lifestyle or they might not agree with my decisions, but I can respect that they don't agree, you know, and that's fine, you know what I mean? That's perfectly fine. We wouldn't be able to sit on this podcast if we didn't, you know, respect each other, right. You know what I mean? And just be like, well, because if we took everything that's said personal, like if you don't agree with me and I'm like, oh, I don't like what Brianna said on that podcast today, she didn't agree with me, and I don't know, like,
I think that's definitely a beauty of individuality, that everyone has a different perspective, and it's like literally we can be seeing the exact same thing and we perceive it completely differently. And if your perspective is based on your experience, it's based on your lifestyle, it's based on your beliefs, it's just, you know, it's based on everything that makes you you. So we can both literally be looking outside at the same image, the same incident, the same whatever, you know. It's like the giraffe is gonna see something at a different point of view than the snake. You know, and it's not that either of them are wrong, we just see it from different angles. So I think that's a great thing. So, you know, of course it's also creates division, but then it also creates options, you know.
I like that word.
Yeah, it creates, you know, variety.
See, I like both of those words, option and variety.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that was like a good discussion. I think that it's going to, you know, create a lot of thought processes and create a lot of conversations, that these conversations need to be had, because we are in a different point in society where things are becoming more open, things are becoming more inclusive, people are being exposed to different lifestyles. Like, look at you, like, you know, you couldn't say, you know, maybe 100 years ago that a straight person might be in an all gay club or whatever. I mean, who knows what was going on 100 years ago, but just overall speaking, like, you know, like the actual fact that you had the opportunity to experience these things and just be open and exposed to it just shows that we're kind of like in a different day and age where people are just open and more, and there are more options available to people. And so, yeah, I think that these conversations need to be had so that acceptance is so that people are more accepting.
Yeah, but there's gonna be some people out there that just don't agree with acceptance. It's just, there are some people who just feel like, I don't need to accept this, and I don't want to accept this. This is not the way I see, you know, I see some things being right and I see some things being wrong, and that's wrong, and I don't want to accept it. You know what I mean? And so,
yeah. And you know what? You just have to accept their non-acceptance.
Exactly.
Accept their non-acceptance and keep it pushing. And like we had the conversation of like those people who, does religion need to be more inclusive so that, you know, people can be more acceptance? No. When there's going to be a group of people who are non-accepting and those people will congregate together, and that's where you just don't go. And that's okay, because there's over there that they want you over there, you know?
Yeah. I think it's a way to disagree, and it's a way to express that you don't necessarily want to accept it, but it's a respectful way to do it. You know what I mean? It's a respectful way to do it. Like, you don't have to go out of your way to hurt someone, to demean someone, you know,
to dismiss their feelings, to dismiss their experiences.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's gonna be some people that's not gonna feel that way though, you know, because people are just like, well, they're making me uncomfortable, you know, so look at what they're showing on TV, and you know,
there's definitely those people.
yeah. So, and I respect those people. Like, I respect those people and their perspective, you know, because
Everyone has
yeah, and it
right.
Yeah, and it makes you also have a valid reason for feeling that way. You know what I mean? Like, you also have a valid reason. But just like we're able to just express our opinions in a respectful way, and also being mindful and thoughtful about what we're saying and what we're putting out into the world, and you also have to do the same thing. Like, nobody can get away, you know, with just saying and doing whatever just because you just don't agree with it. Like, you have the right to disagree, but just, you know, just put in your mind too, you know, how, you know, like, we're still talking about people, you know, we're still talking about human beings. And so although we may not share the same belief systems, we're still talking about people. And so as a human to human, you know what I mean, just be able to have some grace, you know.
So the key words today have been grace, love, respect, variety,
Love it.
and options.
I love it.
I think that sums up the totality of what we discussed: peace, love, respect, options, and variety.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have any conversations that you would like to talk about, or any questions about what we talked about, or if you have your own perspective, right, let us know in the comments.
Please like, subscribe, share this conversation. And also on Wednesday night, we'll be airing, what date is that? We'll be airing this episode, and you are welcome to join the live chat
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Girls Gone Viral Podcast. And, you know, you can type, you know, if you're disagreeing with anything that we're saying. Or
and we going to be in there typing right back, like, girl, what you feel? Like,
yes.
Sir, I don't agree.
Definitely. So please, please, please tune in Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Follow us on our Instagram at Girls Gone Viral Podcast.
Yes.
And just share this information, share this experience with people that you know. Maybe you need to have this conversation with a friend. Maybe you're in this predicament right now and you need to have this conversation. Maybe you can use this as a guide to your conversation.
Right.
So, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Bye.